Hey, it's Dino. Digispin Crypto. Almost forgot to put on my microphone. I do that every day. Jeez, I got to make a button to make that happen. It cracks me up. I can't believe I forget it every single day. Anyway, yeah, we got our new mic, so it should sound a little bit better. And we're glad that you came and showed up. And we're glad to have you here today. So what we want to talk about today is something interesting that came up, and this is with the Binance community coin that's opened up. So we want to chat a little bit about that. Additionally, wanted to talk about a couple of, well, I'm going to do probably one each session of websites that are good, YouTubers that are good to talk to and to watch. So I wanted to give you a little bit on that, and then we'll do some basic chatting and see if there's any questions, and we'll pretty much go from there. So let's see. Well, before I even do that, I'm going to try to do these pre-alerts now. I tried to set up a pre-alert, and then you have to set up a key to be able to access it. That's the reason why we're a couple of minutes late today. I was trying to get it to connect to the key. It just wouldn't do it. So I'll probably do some tests later in the middle of the night to find out why that happened. So I want to be able to put the pre-alerts in so you know what time that to kind of expect me. I'm going to try to bring the time down a little bit. I know we've been doing them at 10 at night. A lot of folks have been asking to do a little bit earlier. Today we did 9:30. We're going to see if we can start to bring it down to that 9 o'clock range. And, that would be kind of nice to do. So the last thing I wanted to say is that, we're getting this set up. It's only, the third or fourth live event. and I got a lot of awesome feedback from everybody, from the mic being fuzzy, so I got a new mic, the sound effects being a little too loud, so I went through all of them and adjusted them, a misspelling that I had, all that great feedback that you guys have been giving me. I appreciate it. It just makes the product a lot nicer for you to see and to interact with, and the last thing I wanted to do is be uncomfortable or surprise somebody with a large sound. So appreciate that, and it's valued, and I'm grateful to you. All right, so let's take a quick look at the chat and see what we got here. My little tablet that I normally use doesn't want to participate tonight for some reason. So I'm going to bring it up on the screen and take a look at it there. All right, let's start at the bottom here. So why is talking about the Binance and the register to vote. So yeah, we're going to talk about that today, and definitely have that information up on the screen. And I want to go through a couple of sticky parts of the voting, so that you know in advance and you might be able to do something about it, so that when you go to vote, you don't find out you can't. And that's going to be important. Let's see what else we got. We got Sergeant of the Marines out there. Appreciate you stopping in to see the show. And let's see what he has to say here. Sergeant says that he's been active on Twitter advocating ETN. And adding to Binance, go vote for Electroneum, but put Electroneum in. So that's a good thing to have happen, and we appreciate you, because we definitely want to see Electroneum on Binance. It's not one of it's one of the biggest exchanges, but it's not the biggest by any stretch of the imagination, and but it's because of its well-known background, it would be a huge queue to be able to get us onto Binance. So that would be pretty exciting in the long run. So let's see what we got here. Okay. Let's see if we can get that tablet to go. And so let's change over to the camera one. Let's say hello to my favorite co-anchor. Hey, Mr. Bean, how you doing? All right, glad that he stopped by today. That's always a good thing. We like Mr. Bean, so that's always fun and popular. Bulky's in on there, Yeah, Bulky's talking about the same thing. Nice, hope we get on the Binance soon. I don't know if it'll be soon, but with the voting coming up in the end of the week, or beginning of next week, I think that'll be an opportunity for us to see if we can get ourselves in there. So let's start right off with that, and let's take a look. Let's bring this right up on the screen. We're gonna click this here, and voila, we got instant stuff there. All right, so as you all know, on Twitter, Binance put out their announcement for round 8. This is the 8th time they've done this, and they go out to the community to see who's interested in getting their favorite coin placed onto Binance. And, they've had a lot of success. Now, there have been some controversy also where some of the coins were accused. There was an accusation that they were using bots to do voting and all this good stuff, and some of them got ejected or forfeited, and that was definitely a problem. So yeah, Mr. Bean thinks there was a problem too. So and Binance made a big deal about this. So they did change a few things. Notice the voting seems to be a little bit different. To my recollection, you guys may know differently, and this may be the same, but I want to make sure that you understand what the process is. Now, I took a quick look at the Twitter, and I have to tell you, when you start to go through this stuff here, you know, I don't have to tell you guys these Ethereum giveaway stuff. I'm sure you guys all know this already. Whenever somebody tells you to send them some crypto to get something in back, you've lost your money. You're never going to see it again. So definitely don't do it. It is a wrong thing to do. Exactly. Never give away your money and expect to get money back in return. I think some Nigerian prince set this up and is taking care of it. So I'm sure you guys all know this good stuff, but I just wanted to, for those of you that are new, never send your money out. Now, the moral of the story is that as we go down, you start to look at the entries, and I'm going to tell you something. You know, there are times, sometimes I doubt myself, and I'm like, all right, this is good and everything, but, you know, maybe I shouldn't buy more. Maybe I should wait a little bit longer. And I see this Twitter and the responses that have shown up on it. I'm going to tell you something. I was blown away, literally blown away by the enthusiasm that's been demonstrated on this thing here, right over here, right behind me. I can't even begin to tell you. I choke up about it. It's just outright amazing. The sheer velocity of people, a tsunami of Electroneum people that own the coin, that just love this coin and believe in its future. And how many people have so far just kind of responded and saying, you know, we'd like Electroneum to be that coin for round 8. It blew my socks off. It literally blew my socks off. I want to give a big applause to every one of you. Absolutely. Well deserving. It shocked me. I start to look through this here. Let's bring me back. I start to look through this, and you know, everybody has their points, and just you know, positive and upbeat. You know, it's good to reply once. You know, you definitely don't want to do it over and over. Put your one. We don't need to. We got 1.9 million users. All right, 10% of us replied to this. We would blow out Twitter. It would be what do they call that when it's trending, right? So I'm an old guy. I don't keep up with all the Twitter stuff, but yeah, this is the fun I get, is the video processing. But you know, it's just shocking, and it's amazing to see. Just, you know, entry after entry after entry after entry, and I'm probably not telling, for those of you that have already sent out your Twitter feed, I'm sure this is not something you know, out of your knowledge already, but I just needed to bring it up. It just blew my socks off. It's just Electroneum. Every single one of them, Electroneum, and it just goes on and on. And when I think I've reached the end, it goes on some more. It's great. I can't tell you, right, Mr. Bean? It's great. Yeah. Yeah. So even he says it's great. Last time I saw him, you know, he was definitely in our corner on this. And there's no doubt that he was just as impressed as I was. So I want to, again, congratulate everybody. This is just phenomenal. Takes all doubt out of my mind ever again. The backing of this community for Electroneum, and it's good stuff. It's good stuff. All right, now having said that, I want to take you to the important part that I wanted to discuss regarding the voting on this thing. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick look at the chat and just see if there's anything exciting going on there real quick. Let's close that up. and let's take a look. All right, so we got Dijon. Yeah, we're crushing it. We're gonna crush it, definitely. There's no doubt. Hit the like button, Sergeant of the Marines says. Yeah, we could do that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's see. John Thompson's here. It's good to see you. We got Bulky, Matthew Gray. It's great to see you here also. Rick Vipermoto, there he is. How's it going? Good to see you. Greg T, good to see you on the channel. Now, Greg, he had mentioned in one of my testing streams how bad my audio was in those previous ones. So I guess I got the Greg thumbs up, and I'm glad to see that. Yeah, you know, I do care. I really do care about the stream. I'm trying to do my best with the limited budget that I have. But you know, the first thing when I got that feedback from Greg, I went out and I got a mic, and that shows you, you know, I do care. Make sure I go through the audio settings. So I do appreciate all that feedback that you guys give me. I take it to heart and try to make the best product possible for you guys. All right. So John Thompson cracks me up. He's flying in from New York to LA, and for some reason he can get the text in the chat. Obviously he can't get the stream, but it's good to see that he's there. I'm pretty excited about that. Okay, so let's see here. Greg T, he just put a half a Bitcoin to get some more ETN, so that's pretty exciting. We got yep, Electroneum's still a bargain. There's no doubt in my mind that that little bit over that 1 cent, it definitely is good. Matter of fact, while we were talking about that, let's bring that up real quick. So let's do a quick refresh. And all right, so there's a couple of things here, and I'm gonna have another video as we go along, because I have a lot of people saying, oh, we're losing money, and when it was green at 8%, and there is a difference between trading with Bitcoin and trading with fiat, and we need to have a conversation about that someday. So obviously, with the market coming down a little bit, Electroneum is down a bit, 2%, but we still have a good look with that good kick in the pants that happened here on the price. So this is where I was talking about. People are like, oh, it's going down in Bitcoin price, and you have to remember what it is in USD is ultimately what's going to happen. Because right now, today, you can't spend Bitcoin at the grocery store. You need to transfer into fiat. So if you're going from fiat through Bitcoin and right into Electroneum, you know what you're paying for it. So if yesterday or the day before I spent $1,000, it goes up 8%. I have $1,080. All right. But when you see it going down on Bitcoin, that's because Bitcoin went and grew faster than Electroneum. Maybe Bitcoin came in at 10%. So you have $1,100 with that same money if you didn't put it in Electroneum. Both of them went up. If I sell it back out, I made 80 bucks. All right, Electroneum went up. All right, but they put on the chat, no, I lost money. And no, you didn't lose money. Now, if you're day trading and you're going back and forth between Bitcoin, that's a totally different, answer and solution. This is the time to buy with Bitcoin, and when it goes up, you can trade it back into Bitcoin. But if you're going from your fiat through into Electroneum and then through back out to put money in your pocket, Electroneum has gone up. All right, so you need to look at that and understand what the dollar value is and what the Bitcoin value is, and whether you're just collecting Bitcoin That's a different solution than if you're trying to collect dollar bills. All right. So, we're still pretty decent. Let's see where the days in the future take us, and we'll go from there. Let's take a look at the chat again. Jacob's here. Smile for Life is here. It's good to see you. Feedback, bad choice of words. There we go. And yes, Paul is saying that we have a fantastic opportunity here. I tend to agree with you. This is a chance to be able to get in that community coin and see what we can do. And with the user base and the enthusiasm that we were talking about, I think that that's definitely possible. All right. New Trick, how you doing, New Trick? Good to see you on the channel. So let's get into the sticky parts of this voting situation, because I wanted to make sure that you understand clearly up front and in advance how this is all going to basically work based on the rules. So if you do a click through, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have, you're going to get the instructions. So a couple of things that I wanted to bring to your attention in case you happen to miss it is as follows. The first thing is that you're going to have a Binance account. So if we have 1.7, 1.9 million users, if only 100,000 of us have a Binance account, that's all that's going to be able to vote, right? So if you don't have a Binance account, maybe you want to set one up if it's near and dear to your heart, to be able to place a vote. The second thing that's going to be important is you have to have some Binance tokens, BNBs. If you don't have a Binance token, you won't be able to vote because they charge you 0.1 Binance for each vote. And Binance token. So you've got to have at least one Binance token in your Binance account. So because they're gonna, you got to have at least 0.1. Most likely you'll buy one token and go from there. All right. So when you do your vote, because replying and putting the information on Twitter, that's great, but it's not a vote. You need to make sure you understand that that's not the vote. That's not what's going to count. The vote itself is what's going to count. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's on the 27th. I had it written down somewhere, but I'm pretty sure it's on the 27th if I'm not mistaken. Yep, there we go. Application day. All right, I'll go through that. So the process is going to be that an application has to be filed. Somebody from Electroneum themselves. So I hope they're watching me or any of the other YouTubers catch on that they need to fill out this application. And only an executive of the Electroneum company can fill out the application to be warranted for that. So I'm sure, and so the people that are close to them have already alerted Electroneum to this. No need to send them an email. They are fully aware. So it's just a matter of them filling this out and getting it posted. As soon as we find out, or I'm able to get any news that that's been done, I'll bring that to you. But that's the first part. So that I'm pretty like 95% sure that that's on its way to be done. Now once that's done, they'll go through it and select their folks that they want to have on the list. Now when the date comes for the actual voting time, which is on the 25th, it's right down here in this big blue deal here, you'll be able to place your vote. Now, as you see here, users will need to pay 0.1 BNB per candidate. So you can vote for a couple of coins. If you have another project that's near and dear to your heart, you can vote for both of them. Each vote you cast will be 0.1 BNB. So make sure you understand that. That's important. Because if you go to vote and you don't have those dollars, you're gonna be, Mr. Bean thinks, you're gonna be scratching your head, going, what the heck? Why can't I vote? Now, here's the other thing that's going to be the kicker. Depending on how much BNB you have in your Binance account, you get a bonus multiplier. Just like, remember when you're playing pinball and ding 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 ding, 2 times, ding 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 ding, 3 times, ding 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 ding, 5 times, 10 times. And so whatever your score was, it then 10 times it, and when you would have had 200 grand, now you're up to 20 million, and you have an all-time high score. That's what they're doing. So if I place a vote and I have 100 BNB in there, I get 100 votes. So it multiplies it. And here's a perfect example. What they're going to do is take a snapshot of everybody's account. And so they're giving an example here. If a user has 3.9 Binance token in their balance, they'll get a multiplier of 3. You'd have to have 4 to get a multiplier of 4. 3.9 will round down. Okay, so you'll get a multiplier of 3, so your vote will be worth 3 entries. All right. Now they do max it off at 500. This way, a whale can't just have 1 million Binance tokens and then pick his coin and blow everybody out of the water. So they do put a cap at 500 as the multiplier. Okay. So here's an example. If you had 1,000 BNB, it'll get capped at 500 and the final multiplier. So that person will have the weight of 500 votes because he has Binance coin. So if that's important to you and you want to pick up a couple extra Binance coins while you're at it, now's the time to do it. Now, I probably have a very tiny amount. I don't know if I can get any more. I'll have to scrounge around through my penny jar to see how much I can do to get more Binance coins. This is their little gag to be able to, I guess, sell their Binance coins. But it works, and it's their system. It's their, it's their award, and you play by their rules if you want to be in the game. So I can only advise you what the rules are. Make sure that you clearly understand them, so you're not shocked and surprised when you go to do your vote. So these things are very important. All right. So the more Binance you have, the more multiplier you'll get. You've got to have BNB token. You've got to have a Binance account. Those are the things that have got to happen, and it's a short period of time. So hopefully a lot of you already have Binance accounts. If not, maybe you'll make it your mission to do that if it's important to you. So keep that in the back of your head. All right, now, of course, they have the right to, change things and modify things and flip it upside down, or whatever they want to do. They can change it because it's their game, right, Mr. Bean? Yeah, he agrees, and that's how it is. So let's take a quick look at the chat. I hope I explained this part of the Binance voting for the community coin number 8. So let's take a quick look at the chat. All right, so I see some pretty good things on here, but I'm going to just go through this real quick. All right, so the music lover has a good point. Binance has to choose us first. To win the vote, and we don't even know if we'll be chosen. So basically, everybody and their grandmother is going to be filling out that little document and putting a stamp on there and sending it out to get on the list to be able to be voted for. Now, Binance is obviously going to take a look at that, and they're going to have to choose a limited amount because they'll probably have hundreds of coins that are going to, want to participate in this. Everybody from whatever coin to whatever coin. All right. the enthusiasm shown in the tweet, may carry a little weight that, these guys are serious. These Electroneum people, they want to be on Binance. And it's overwhelming. So let's see, if that carries any weight. If we are lucky, we'll be selected as on the short list or the semi-finalist type of thing to be put on that list. So that is a good point, music lover, and thank you for bringing that up. Okay. I'm gonna have to put this one on the screen. Rick Vipermoto, he just wanted to say that I'm a great fit and a breath of fresh air to the Electroneum community. He loves my enthusiasm, realism, and a need to keep your expectations grounded. Hey, Rick, I appreciate that. Having that feedback from you guys, that the work I do here voluntarily, has value to somebody, and I appreciate it. It makes me want to continue on and try to bring as much fun, excitement, and news I can to you guys. So I do appreciate every bit of that. There's a good group of people, of YouTubers for Electroneum. All of them, I think, are pretty brilliant. So it's good to be in that same company. All right, let's take a look more at these chats. Music Lover is concerned that if we don't get on the short list, it would be suspect. Hey, it's their game. It's their rules. CZ at Binance seems to be a pretty straight guy, and in their processes. Now, you will, if you hassle them, send them white papers, start poking them, they will, put you to the side. They don't want to be hassled. You understand the value, the amount of money that has to be spent to be put on Binance. I can't even begin to tell you the cost. From what I understand, it's in the $1 million range. There's a $40,000 or $40,000 a month after that to keep it maintained. I mean, it's a huge amount of dollars. And they're giving away an amazing gift to a particular coin community just because of the sheer costs of it. And the last thing they want to do is be hassled, email sent to them when Binance, when are you going to do this? They don't need that hassling. And I'm going to tell you, if I was giving away something free that was worth in excess of $1 million and I'm getting hassled by the users of that coin, I don't need this in my life. I'm giving away $1 million. I'm not going to be hassled while I'm doing it. All right. So, be realistic. Let the process work out. Show your voice where your voice is best heard, and that's in that Twitter, doing it one time. And then when it comes to voting, get yourself prepared. Make sure you have your Binance account. Make sure you have your BNB coins to do the process to their rules. It's their game. All right. So let's play by the rules, and let's fairly beat the snot out of every other coin and get Electroneum put on there the right, effective, and fair way, playing by the rules. All right. I'm going to count on each and every one of you to do that if you want to see Electroneum on Binance, and that'd be an awesome coup. So stay tough and do it that way. All right, so let's go on to the next one. Yes, new trick. We just talked about that multiplier. That's definitely a big plug. And you can have 100,000 people vote, and if the other guys each have 100 coins, you only need 1,000 people to have the same weight of those that don't have extra Binance coins. So that's their game. That's their rules. So keep that in mind when you have your Binance account, and we'll go from there. Now, so I was reading through. We're going to get through this chat. somebody was talking about the dust, so I'm going to find that entry in the chat, and I'm going to bring that up because that's a very valuable thing also. Let's take a look here. All right, so here it is. Paul, welcome to the channel, Paul. Paul has an awesome, some awesome feedback information, and what he says is to make sure to use the dust feature. Now, what the dust feature is, you make a trade and you thought you used up the whole 100% of whatever coin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever it is. But after you made the trade, you found out you had this itty bitty tiny number, and it's not a big enough number where you can actually turn it into something of value. You can't sell it, so it kind of just sits there, being very unproductive. It's, could be worth a few cents, it could be worth $1. It's too small of a value to trade. So Binance, in their wisdom, made a tool where you can click on it and you can take that's considered what they call dust. All right, and what that means is it's such a small amount. It's, you're bothering me, kid. Go away. We don't need that. All right. So you can take that dust and turn it into Binance coin, and you obviously you want to get enough to have at least one coin to get that multiplier. But the fact of the matter is that this is a very good selection, very good choice, and you never know. You may have enough laying around that can be turned into from dust into turn it into an actual coin. So that's an awesome point. Thanks, Paul. I'm glad I was able to answer that, and let's give Paul a round of applause. There we go. All right. So I like that one. Let's see what else we got going on here in the chat. So Bulky, he said he bought 51 Binance coins, and so he's all ready. That's awesome. And it blows me out of the water. I don't know how many I'm going to be able to get, but I know I'm going to get a couple. I'm going to find a way to do that, and so I can at least have my vote count a few times with that multiplier. So as Bulky says, every vote counts. Every vote counts. All right. Jacob says when Binance crew is all ready to go, and we'll go from there. Okay, so this is good to see all of the feedback so far on the chat. If you have any other questions, put it on there. So what I wanted to do now is just take a quick look and see what we're bringing in on our ASIC miner, because Mr. Bean wants to know, right? Yeah, I see. Mr. Bean wants to know how much we're making on our single ASIC miner that we got for experimental purposes. We keep it directly on Electroneum, doesn't go anyplace else. Making myself a little Electroneum sticker for it in the print shop downstairs, and we're going to make that happen. And we're going to probably end up making all sorts of Electroneum stickers. We're going to see if we can work that out and make them available for sale on the DigitSpin site. I'll let you know when that happens, or if it happens. I'm looking forward to it, though. I just need to get a confirmation and approval from Electroneum, because I believe that the logo is registered to them, and I'd like to have a handshake saying that that's okay first before I do it. All right, so go over to our handy dandy fancy site that I like, cryptunit.com. All right, obviously GPUs and CPUs aren't going to be effective. I mean, you could physically mine with the GPU, CPU, you will make dust at best when it comes to Electroneum. Nowhere near the cost of running the electricity. All right, so the ASIC is what you need. If you have an ASIC, here's the good news. We are up on the coin count today. I am excited, definitely thrilled. This is a good thing. Yay! Mr. Bean was definitely excited also. $11, that means it's going up. We're obviously bringing in more coins. Why, you're asking me? It's possible that everybody had went to the Sumo coin the other day, allowing the hash rate to come down, and I've been able to capture more with that ASIC. That's usually what happens. We take a look at the chart here. You can see it has come down a tad in the price, and let's take a look at the hash rate. So yeah, the hash rate was peaked yesterday. It has come down, and because there's less hash rate, I'm able to grab a little bit more coins out of the work that it's doing. So that's the reason why I'm able to grab a little bit more today. So that's exciting, and glad to see that. The volume for sales on Electroneum up an extra 100,000. You know, I definitely want to start to see this hit you know, $1 million. You can see when Sumo Coin was giving out $12 the day before, this volume was well over $1 million. So that's very clear to me that all the miners, the price was higher. It was 20. You can make 20% more with the Sumo Coin than you were over Electroneum. They all ran over there, started to mine it. They sold it off. You can see the price is down a little bit. And because they all jumped ship, and they're gonna go mine on some other coin. So, and you can tell here that the volume is down. So all those coins are not being sold probably at this point. But they're down half of what they were yesterday. So that's just an example of how miners, you know, buy and sell their coins can make a difference in the economy of the coins. There's probably a good percentage of the folks who are using ASICs, you know, simple folk like myself that are mining them, and you know, I ain't letting go of them. Every little coin I can grab and pick up off the floor, I'm gonna put it in a little sack and try to hold on to it for dear life. I have expectations 4 or 5 years from now I'll be able to retire, hopefully, if I'm lucky enough. So let's see how that turns out. We'll check the chat once more. Let's see what we get. All right, so Smiler's Life is there. All right, so I'm going to bring this up so I can read it here on the screen. Smile Life is saying why we still rely so much on exchanges. If I believe in a project, I just go and buy wherever the exchange is available. The problem is when it's free, people don't put value on it. So, not sure what the details of this are. I do agree that if you're looking for a coin, and I talked about this yesterday, if you want to buy Electroneum, you found a way to go get it on the exchange. And I need to make sure that you guys keep this realistic. Even if we were to win and be placed on Binance, it doesn't mean that the price of the coin is going to go up in the air. Alright? Because people that want Electroneum, they go find where it is and they go buy it. Okay? By having it on Binance brings a little bit of gravitas to the coin. It brings it in front of people that like to trade, and now they might see a name, take a look at the project, maybe throw a few pesos down on the table to purchase some, but you're getting the project out in front of those that probably would not go to Cryptopia or some of these other exchanges. So just because it goes on Binance doesn't mean anything. But when it gets listed, it adds an intrinsic value to the coin. All right, and over time helps bring it up. Now, a lot of, you know, during normal or in the past, if you got listed on Binance, the coin just flipped out and went into outer space there for a period of a week or what have you, and then came back down. And I'm not so sure that that's happening as much or at all these days. All right, so getting onto Binance is very important, but please set your expectation. Don't think you're going to go out and buy yourself a new car because of it. because you don't know what kind of bump that can happen because of the listing. But we do know getting on there enlightens the future of the coin and brings it far more possibilities. Hands down, no doubt, it's important. All right, but set your expectation correctly. All right, don't you know, hope for a little bit and be happy. And if it goes up, you flip out. If it goes past what you put, a realistic expectation. Do this no matter what, no matter what coin. Put yourself a realistic expectation. Hey, I'd like to see this much. If the thing flips out and goes out here, you know, you can have a blast and a party at that point and be thrilled beyond belief. If you set your expectation up here and it lands here, and then you get all depressed over a win. It's still a win. And don't get depressed over a smaller win when you thought something greater, because that's a win. And in crypto, these little wins add up. And then the next year you come back, you look 12 months from now, and things are different. All right? So that's important. Yeah, so Smile, he picked up a few, so that's pretty awesome. Chris Knight, hey, good to see you, Chris. A lot of folks picked them up Cryptopia. I like KuCoin. Cryptopia is pretty good too. Those are ones, if I was by Electroneum, that's probably, I'd go to one of those two. They seem to have the most volume, circulation of the coins, so you probably get your, if you're selling, you'll have somebody to sell to, and you'll get some price action there. So that's important. All right, so we're going to get close to the end. I do want to go over one other segment. And so the moral of the story was, if you have any questions before the last segment, make sure you start to get them into the chat now. That'll be important to do. So what I wanted to talk in this last segment about is there's a lot of great YouTube channels out there, and not all of them are focused on Electroneum. And I'm going to do this segment going forward in my live broadcasts, and I'm going to tell you about some YouTubers and channels that I think that you might want to take a look at. And so I'm going to tell you, a channel. I'm going to tell you why I subscribe to that person's channel and the value that I think this YouTuber brings. And then, you might want to check it out. You may want to add it to your list. Because a good broad range, you get opinions from both sides of the spectrum, up or it's going to go down. Some are very educational, some are very entertaining. So first one I'm going to bring up today is a YouTuber called Coin Mastery. This is Carter Thomas. Now, I like Carter Thomas. He does talk a little on the slow side. He's slower than me. So a lot of times I end up listening to his broadcast at 1.25 speed, or even as high as 1.5 speed. But Carter, this guy knows his business. He explains. Now, he talks about Bitcoin and the market, expectations, a technical analysis. He throws in some details, some news. I like the guy. I think that he's real smart. If you ever have a chance to take a look at his YouTube site, do it, and you may find it to be of interest. Now, he used to broadcast every day, and I went to look, and I was like, "Where's Carter, man?" All right, so yesterday he put in a broadcast a day ago. I was used to seeing him like every day, and lately it's been once a week, and that's okay. It felt like every day. Maybe it was every other day. I don't recall. I just remember if I saw Carter Thomas, I made sure I watched his video. It was food for thought, Kind of gave me an idea of where things were going, and it was smartly done, and in a way that you can understand the basics of a very technical situation when they're trying to do all the TA analysis. You know, some of them they come up and, yeah, we're going to use a hypothesis. Let's break out the slide rule. We're going to have a hanging man here with a floating Chad over here, and most people are just not interested in that. Carter did a really good job. So the moral of the story is, if you have a chance, take a look at Carter Thomas's site. Catch a couple of his videos. Obviously, they're time sensitive, mixed in with some overall general purpose knowledge. You need knowledge. Knowledge? My Lamborghini over here, because I picked that up because of knowledge. Thank you. I know. I'm sure you all know who that impression was. Anyway, so that's definitely my pick for today. Okay, let's take a look here, see if we have anything else in the chat. All right, I think we're pretty good. I don't see anything new there. I'll double check on the site itself. Okay. All right, so good. So you guys had no more further questions. I'm going to call it for tonight. I want to thank you very much for watching the live broadcast, letting folks know about it, and coming to see us here. I'll continue to bring some more stuff, and we'll refine what's in the live broadcasts as we go along to make it more effective. If you have suggestions of segments that you would like to see, put it in the comments below so that I can try to make those types of things happen, and see if we can bring a better broadcast to you. So far as it is for tonight, thank you.